following program is brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization.
This is Straight Up with Toby Martini. I am Toby Martini, and on this show, we talk about a few different things. What it's like to be an entrepreneur, how do you be in business today? Sometimes the psychology of what's behind it. How do you be successful? How do you make more money? Let's go find out. All right, here we go. Hey, everybody. Hi. So this is Toby Martini. Welcome to the big show. It's Straight Up with Toby Martini. And what are we going to talk about today? A little bit of pseudo-psychology today. Just about what's your business's place in the world. What's the word you want to own? That sort of thing. Hey, look, my blue shirt goes with my little blue name thing. For those of you who see me on video, I've tried not to wear a black shirt so I don't meld into the background. Today I wear a blue shirt and I meld into my words. Fun. So first things first, thanks for paying attention. Thanks for checking it out. We do this show to help entrepreneurs, people who are either just getting started or want to get started in business, or you've been doing it for a while and you've got, just looking for a little inspiration, motivation, and hopefully some helpful resources. And I have some. One is one of my sponsors is SCORE, which is at scorepinellas.org. And it's so cool because you can go and they have mentors, counselors who can help you with any aspect of business. It's all filled with people who've been successful in business for years, and it's free and it's ridiculously helpful. And it's at scorepinellas.org. And you can sign up online for a calendar spot and then either go meet with somebody live. They do cyber mentoring as well, like you can do through email or maybe even Skype. I don't know. But it doesn't matter how you get connected. It's just that you can connect with people who can help you with whatever it is you don't know what to do. And then my other sponsor is New Urban Suites, which is at newurbansweets.com. Get out of your little home office because if you're doing your work in your PJs with your feet up, you're doing it wrong. I'm a big fan of comfortable and, relax and kick back. And, I'm not a big fan of structure, all that stuff. On the other hand, it's too easy to get too comfy sitting home and maybe you don't do the work. Maybe you don't get as much done as you could and should. And the quality's probably not there as well. And then there's this thing, entrepreneur lifestyle could be lonely. So it's kind of nice to go and, work around other people who are working. Maybe they're up to big things. And who knows, you create partnerships and such. Right. So check out newurbansweets.com and scorepinellas.org. Yeah. And then also I have a very helpful and refreshing website. Check out tobymartini.com. There is there's stuff about me. How exciting. But I have workshops coming up again in Tampa. I'm starting a 4-week workshop on April 26th at the end of the month. 4-week workshop, teach everybody how to be bold in any situation, how to talk to anybody at any time, be a little more creative, remember people's names, stuff like that, little things that could be helpful. It's not specifically for entrepreneurs, but I guarantee you it will help you in your business. So that's my commercials for the day. And today I wanted to talk about, and I don't even know what to call it. It's a little bit inspirational, I guess, but it's about this. Do you know that your business is really just an extension of you and your personality in the world? Like it really is. People think, oh, I'm going to sell a widget or whatever. I'm going to sell my product. And what they come to realize over time is it really is an extension of your personality. It's kind of weird. You get known, like your business is how you shut that door. It's how you show up in the world, how you run your business, right? People get to know, like I said, it is an extension of your personality. So for me, anybody who knows me, right, and I'm not bragging, it's just my example, is if you work with Toby, it'll be fun, it'll be light, it'll be a little wacky sometimes, right? Because that's my demeanor. And then, other folks who I know, their demeanor's not that. You know that working with them, it'll be very straightforward, be pragmatic, and they'll be systematic, right? Both are valuable and good and useful in the world, but who do you vibe with? Or what do you need at that time, right? So it's how do you show up? Like you could be pest control guys, right? But if you're fun and joking and like that, that's cool. If you're not dour, but if you're very workmanlike, right? You're mechanical about it, and you seem like a gruff old sort. That's okay because people go, oh, he's good. He knows his business. What kind of people? It is his personality, but his business appears that way, right? If you think about it, it's more than that product you sell. It's more than that service that you have. It's the mark you want to leave. How do you want people to know you? How do you want them to know your business? Right? Yeah, it's kind of like the feeling you want to evoke. Right? What do you want people to think? How do you want them to feel? What do you want them to think about when they hear your name or your business name? And that can show up kind of like it's the word that you own. Right? For me, it's improv or fun. Right? I like those words. When people think of me, hopefully they think of those things. When you think like Volvo, right? What's the word that Volvo owns? Is safety, right? And Zappos, right? 2 words, customer service, right? They own customer service. Now, other people do customer service. Other people have it. But when you hear the word Zappos, that's what you think of. Even more than you think of shoes, because that's their product. But the history of Zappos, the thing that makes them unique is that customer service angle that they have, which is, ridiculously over the top. Customer service. Jimmy John's sub place, I don't know if that's everywhere, but the word they're really attempting to own is fast, right? Their commercials are all about how fast you're going to get it. It's ridiculously fast, and people talk fast, and they move fast, and you're going to get it fast. Never speaks about how awesome their sandwiches are. I know people who like it, and I think they're okay, but I guess they're fast, right? So that's the thing. Like, what's the word? So somebody, maybe Jimmy John himself, was a fast-moving, fast-talking sort of guy. He liked that. It was his personality. When he developed his business, he went, I'm going to get stuff out fast, right? And not to skimp on quality, probably, but he wanted to own that word, own that space. He wanted his business to be a reflection of himself. So do I, right? I talk fast and am fun and change up what I say all the time because half the time I'm making it up, right? In a good way. And I had that advice the other day, in what you say to me, make it more consistent. Have it be the same every time and it's more memorable. For you, but not for me. For me, it's improv and energy and do it different every time and make it a little harder to do and then do it anyway, right? So that's the thing. And so what's your word to own, right? What's the feeling that you can evoke? How do you want people to know you and your business, right? Because psychologically, right, your business, certainly, especially when you're small, if you're a 1 or 2 person operation, 2, 5 or 10 even, right? It's an extension of who you are, how you want to be known and remembered. I'll tell you one that's contrary. KFC, right? Or they're back to Kentucky Fried Chicken. For those of you who don't know, for the last 20 years, crazy that it could be that long, but it might be. The last 20 years, there hasn't been Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's only been KFC. Like, it hasn't said Kentucky on any of their stuff in very, very, very long time. And they're just coming back to it. You're starting to see over the last year or two, Kentucky Fried Chicken again. But the thing about that is Colonel Sanders, there was an image, right? He was dressed up like an old-time Southern plantation owner sort of thing, right? An old Southern gentleman. Even though when he did it, it wasn't that era. He just harkened back to that era. And when they started, they were pushing, it's that sort of food. It's kind of Southern. It's homey like that. Now we push that it's fast food. But in an example of terrible, the company forgot its roots was some years ago, 10 years ago. They had commercials where they showed chicken and people talking, whatever. And they had a little animated Colonel Sanders. And he would rap and he would dance, swing his cane around. And just kind of, well, he wasn't twerking because they didn't have it then, but he kind of twerking. And, that's the sort of thing. You close that door. Will you close that door? Behind you? Thanks. But, so, they completely lost the image of what that should be because it was an extension of his personality and the way it should work, right? And then they came out and it was the rapping colonel. And I swear, if he'd seen that ever, he would be flipping over in his grave. He would have run out to those people and killed them with his little cane, which of course isn't the image he's trying to create either. But unofficially sponsored by Mountain Dew. And, until one day when they pay us. Where's Chris? Until one day when they pay us. So that's an example of how it doesn't work, right? That business lost sight of what's our vibe. And your vibe, your what do you want to be, came from the owner, come from the person who started it. What's their personality? What's their dream? What's their legacy? And so for you and your business, what is that? A lot of people have never even thought about it. But take a minute and think, how do you show up? How does it look for people? What's the feeling you evoke? What's the word that people would use to describe you and your business? And you may be able to do it. Great. Push it, right? If you like it, then push it. Make it more about that. And if you don't see one, I would recommend that you do. Because this is kind of a mantra for speakers, right? If you speak in front of people, Maya Angelou said, people won't remember what you told them, right? And they might not remember the way that you delivered it and such like that, but they'll always remember how they felt. And it's terribly rough paraphrasing, but it's not about the content. It's not necessarily about the service. It's how do people feel about it. And I've seen speeches where I was talking with somebody the other day. We both saw a speech 2 weeks ago. We said, that guy was really good. I really liked his speech. Oh, yeah? What do you remember about it? And we talked about it. And I don't remember. I don't remember the title. I don't remember. I couldn't tell you two salient points from the speech. But we both remembered we liked him. We liked his energy. It was fun speech. It was put together well. Right? I don't remember any of the content. And so it is one of those things where, and again, this is speaker world. It's sometimes it's not that the content matters, and I don't want to say it's useless, right? It's certainly not. I want people to have good content and change the world, but it's the manner in which you deliver it and the feeling that you evoke from people. And so, outside of a speech, how's that work for your business? And it's kind of weird. It's not customer service, and I know Zappos has done that. But I see so many people in networking, small business networking, talking about, we got customer service, we got great customer service, or we really care, right? We care more than the others do. You can prove that, but I don't think you should try to use that as your marketing point. I don't think that really works. But what can you own? You can own fun. You can own green, earthy. There's a lot of things you can own. And if it's, there's not so many, but if you're a travel agent, right, it's that warm, comfortable feeling, right? I have a friend who's a travel agent, Sherry Swafford. I know her through networking. She's really nice, but the feeling that you get is comfort, right? It's more than customer service. It's caring, even though I just said caring doesn't work. Just that comfort. It's no stress. Right. So when you talk to her, always, that's her personality. That's how her business shows up. Right. And so how do you do that? Right. How do you do that for yourself? If you sell sports memorabilia or sports clothing or whatever, then maybe your demeanor and your marketing and your colors and everything is fast and aggressive. I don't mean aggressive like fighty, but, aggressive, competitive. Right. Talk fast. Be that. You should embody that. There's a guy on one of the, I never watch sports, ESPN. I like to watch sports. I hate to watch guys talking about sports. But on one of the ESPN channels, there's a guy, he looks like he's 50 something and he looks like he should be a librarian or maybe an accountant of some sort. And he's on the show. And he could have a good brain for it and all. It's just he doesn't fit the vibe and the emotion that seems to be right for that show, for that network, for those kind of things. So it's just a mismatch. Nothing against him. I'm not, he's not stereotypical, so that's good, but it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit right for me. So push that for yourself. Figure out what your word is. Figure out what you want to be known as outside of just you have this product and service. What sort of a person are you? What sort of a business is it? And then at some point, maybe you're not in your business. Maybe you're not the provider, right? You're the business owner. You shouldn't be working in it 24 hours a day or 12. And so maybe when you're out of it, you're on vacation, or when you retire from it, but the business keeps going, will it keep your ethos? Will it keep your vibe? Will it keep your word going? And that's something to think about. Try to establish that. Try to make that happen now, right? I mentioned like Volvo is the word safety. Clearly, the people who put that together in the first place cared about safety. They've carried it on for, I don't know how long, 50 or 100 years. Yeah. And so they really created that as their, right. What happens is it starts out as a personality and becomes a corporate culture, right? So figure out what you want that personality writ large will be later when your company's big. And, some of this is like e-myth. If you think of your business, how will my business look when I'm out of it? And again, you don't have to be completely out, but you're out of the daily work of it. You own the business, but you have employees who push the buttons and, clean and do all the work that needs to get done in the work. You have people who get customers and people who service customers and people who do the work or provide the product. And your name's on the door. So at some point, the goal is to not be in the day-to-day tasks of it. So one, you need systems and such to do that so people know, but you also need maybe a psychology, and that you clearly don't call that, but a corporate culture manual, right? That's one of the systems. I'm talking about systems a lot around here, but what's your system for getting people to know the culture? I know, again, going back to Zappos, just because I have the example, is they make everybody, no matter what their position is going to be, they go through their 2-week customer service course. Every day for work is a class for 2 weeks. Even if you're going to be a dock loader, you load boxes, you drive a forklift, you have to get the customer service classes because they want to ingrain in everybody, this is our ethos. This is what we're up to. Outside of pushing shoes, right? So it's pretty cool. And people who do that, companies that do that, yet one, they're successful, more successful, and they're remarkable in the Seth Godin version of remarkable, worth remarking about, right? Worth talking about because they stand for something or they stand for a vibe. So that's what I think about today. Because you want, there's this ephemeral thing. There's this vibe and this feeling, which is a little hard to convey, but it shows up in how it shows up, right? You push it, and when you get employees, you make sure they totally understand, not just the operations and the buttons to be pushed, but that they understand, here's how we make people feel around here. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like that. I want to talk about something else. You know what I want to mention? So in 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the slightly different show around here. And our friend Ken Queen is going to come back in. We're going to do some shows for a while and kind of look at my business, tear it apart, build it up, whatever that takes. Ken had some surgery in the last weeks, and he's doing well. I'm happy to hear that. So he's doing well. We're talking this week. We're putting it all together. So you'll see the crazy new show. Hopefully people have seen marketing about that, and we're going to put out stuff. But if you hear my voice now and it's before April 24th, then tune in at that time because it's going to be different, a little scary for me. But exposing my business, all the good, all the bad, and then we're going to build it up. And so then how it works for me is probably how it works for you. right? There's parts you're good at and parts you're bad at, and we're going to make sure all the systems work. So that should be fun. And then, so that'll be, it's not the business breakdown, but it's something like that. I have to come up with a catchy name. So we do that in 2 weeks on the April 24th, I think is the date, something like that. Pardon me. And then I just want to talk a little bit real quick, and then we'll kick out of here after a bit. But there's this thing which, and I don't know if I read this term or I just wrote it. I scribbled it out here for myself, and I said, oh, that's a great sounding thing. And it's the curse of super momentum. And I want you to be aware. I'll back up. I bet that most people in their business think they're not where they should be, right? We're not moving fast enough. We're not there. I should be making more money. I should have more clients, blah, 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 right? And the thing is, there's this thing that happens, which is the curse of super momentum, is when you're going very fast. If you're going 95 miles an hour, you don't notice when it creeps up to 98, right? You don't notice. The threshold is too small. So you're going very fast. You don't notice the small improvement that's still happening. The other way to look at that is, well, I guess it's kind of cheating, but you don't realize how much your kids are growing. All right, you see them every day. They're just there. But if you see somebody else's kid and you haven't seen them in 6 or 8 months, and you look at him like, oh my God, you're a giant, right? How did you grow so fast? Those parents just didn't see it. There's growth. It's happening. But the threshold is so small, they don't notice every day a 16th of an inch. They don't notice it. They don't notice it. But over time, it's really growing. And so nobody looks at their kid, and then you look at him the next day and go, oh my God, he's just not growing from one day to the next, right? You don't do that. And the fact is, they are growing. You're just too close to it. Or maybe your business is moving along. Maybe you had some early successes. You're going fast, and it doesn't seem like I'm growing as fast as I was. That's okay. It's going to happen, right? You can't sustain, meteoric rises, I don't think, for entirely too long. But then you fail to notice that you are still growing. Maybe it's just a little slower. So it's the curse of super momentum. I'm moving fast. All of a sudden, it doesn't feel like I'm moving. Yeah, you are. It's a little slower. Sorry. But it's good. And that happens, people get into business, they start doing something, and at first there's a whirlwind, there's a million things to do, you're getting some success, you're making some money, it's like, whoa, we're really going and growing. And all of a sudden it seems to slow down. Maybe it has slowed down. Or maybe it's just not all that rush of things. You don't have 8 million things to do anymore, you only have 4 million things to do. So you're still busy, but it doesn't feel like you're having the success that you were. Right. So I want you to just trust that it is, right, that you are still moving forward, unless on purpose, not on purpose, but if very clearly you're stalling, you're not getting the work done, right? If you're putting stuff off and not getting it done, that's a different thing. But I assume if you're putting in the hours and you're trying to get it done, it is. Maybe it's not going as fast enough for you, but it's moving, right? Don't worry if you're not there yet, right? Keep moving, you'll make it. Things don't always jump. Right? They don't, it's not what they say in the stock market, it's not a hockey stick necessarily, right? It's incremental, it's Kaizen, right? It's incremental daily improvements. That's sort of the thing. And don't worry, it's not going fast enough, right? Make the effort, meet some people. And I want to mention that, so I hope that's valuable, right? Just as a little perspective, just remember, either it was going so fast you don't notice that it's still going, or it is moving, right? And you just don't notice it every day. But if you look at where you are now compared to the numbers of where you were a year ago, it's probably very different. Right? And I do want to mention that I'm starting April 26th at the end of this month. Starting 4-week workshop again in Tampa. I just got done with St. Pete class, which went smashingly. And we'll be back in Tampa. It's in West Tampa at... it's like, where is that? Armenia and Columbus. That's West Tampa area. So it's on Saturdays from 10 to 1. So 3 hours for 4 Saturdays in a row starting April 26th. There's a decent chance it might actually be the first week in June because I might have to move it. But if you have any interest, go check out the sites at tobymartini.com. And you can click on workshop, or you can go to tobymartini.com/workshop to see about that. And then I also have to schedule the twice a year Unstuck, Unleashed, Unstoppable for the introverted entrepreneurs. I have a one-day event, which I should have already had on the books, and I've let it slip by. Oh, no. So time does get by us really fast, doesn't it? So check that out, and you can see that page too. The date will probably be end June or probably right after I finish my current workshop. That'll be good. End June, 1st of July. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope it was interesting and valuable to you. Remember that your business is an extension of you in the world, right? What should it look like? And after you're gone, can it continue to look like you, right? Your personality, your ethos. What word do you want to own? How do you want people to think about your business or feel about it outside of the product or the service, right? What's the vibe that you offer? And then don't worry about, it's going slower than I thought. You're getting it done. So I'm going to kick out. This has been a lovely, lovely day. And pay attention, 2 weeks, business deconstruction, which I think is going to be scary and fun and really valuable. So, all right, I'm going to kick out. It's Toby. I'll see you in a week or so. Bye-bye. Jen, can you kick me out? Don't kick me in the head. Just kick me out. This has been Straight Up with Toby Martini. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you want to find out more about what I'm up to, you can always find me at tobymartini.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.
This program was brought to you by the Internet Broadcasting Organization, setting the standard for new media broadcasting.